welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Shawn.
We're here.
And we're here again.
We're here to tell you about another book. Book, comic book. That's going to be on my album.
That's a good... That's a good...
Did you like that?
It's a good song, actually.
Yeah, I can't wait till I auto-tune it.
Maybe we should put that as our theme song. I think maybe it could be...
Book, comic book. That's our song.
Yeah. I think that might be another hit.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, that's going to go straight to number one. Watch out, Beyonce.
Yeah, that's going to be good times.
Yeah.
So, we are just going to do one book today. We're actually going to do one story from a book.
It's a longer book.
And it is by request. And, it's kind of nice because we actually can come back to this one in the future, if we choose to. But, this is by request. We're going to do a what if for our buddy Russell.
Well, I should probably read the thing.
So, but we did get a correspondence from Russell.
It's from Russell. So let me read it.
And actually, I think we'll go ahead and read that. I've got Twitter.
All right, this is from our friend Russell Bragg, a host of the DC Comics Presents show, which is on hiatus at the moment, but we'll be back soon. So he says, hello, hi. Some notes for last episode.
Yes.
Despero was turned into a fetus and had to grow up all over again.
So right out there, I read that line.
I was like, this is the best email.
It's the best, and I went, nope. Not into this story.
So last week, if you didn't hear, we read a story where Despero had been taken over by Elron.
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard, the android. So we were talking about like how that happened. So of course we don't do research. Russell helps us out. He says, so Despero was turned into a fetus and had to grow up all over again. The fetus was given to trader Manga Khan in exchange for his servant robot Elron. Once re-aged, Despero escapes Manga Khan and goes to Earth looking for the Justice League. Mm-hmm. A desperate Green Lantern Kilowog and Elron use the slave collar Despero still wears to switch minds with Elron, with the diminutive robot's body being destroyed shortly afterwards. So that means Despero dies. Because...
Well, his conscience dies.
Yeah, because it was in the...
robot.
The robot. Elron reappeared still in Despero's body and had a number of adventures with the Justice League Task Force and Justice League International. I remembered your Frog and Scorpion story being told on Robot Chicken, and I believe I remember that too. It was actually in the Gilmore Girls as well. So
oh yeah, no,
it's been around.
It's been everywhere.
I can't help you with Batman's blind Batcave assistant. I saw him actually in another Detective Comics I was reading today, but he didn't get a name mentioned. He was just standing there.
Yeah.
But I do know the name of...
Standing there sadly blind.
And hunchback.
And Bruce just being like, here's an Arby's wrapper. Here's an Arby's wrapper I found. Why don't you eat?
He's like, lick the juice off this for your meal. Gross. But I do know the name of Jack Edison, who built the Batmobiles for Batman in the Bronze Age. Jack was a former stunt driver who Batman saved from a horrible, quote, fiery accident. There is a Ray's Pizza.
Quote, fiery?
It's in quotes.
I know. I just like, it's like horrible, quote, fiery. I'm not making fun of you, Russell. I just like the way that was put. I just like the way that was like, quote, fiery, quote, deadly, a.k.a. doom, accident.
There is a Ray's Pizza, but I don't think the hero, the Ray, had anything to do with it.
No. I mean, unfortunately, I think it's the original Ray's in New York.
Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with the Ray being a pizza boy.
It should have.
Absolutely.
If it was like a thing where it just he capitalized on that, and the DC universe was still making pizzas,
that'd be awesome.
He's just like, you know what, I'm giving up the superhero business because he's kind of like semi-retired now too.
Yeah.
The Ray is.
Well, that's what happens when you found out that your dad lied to your mom and told you
it's a lot to cope with.
Fucking pizza boy your entire life.
He's in therapy a lot.
He's got to be going to therapy for like hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed your comic. Cliffhangers like that always make me want to know more. I presume Gypsy survived. Me too. You both are good storytellers. Oh, thank you.
We are, yes.
You had my attention up to the end. I wanted to ask...
Up to the end, and then he said, fuck it. said goodbye. No,
Turn this shit off.
Thank you.
No, we're just kidding. I wanted to ask Jen if she had heard of the Lonely Hearts Romance Comics podcast. I have not.
Well, no, you did.
Now I did. You had mentioned your love of romance books in the prior episode. They haven't put out an episode in some time, but it's a very good show. They even act out some of the stories. I did come up, which that sounds fantastic, and I have to listen to it now because, like I said, I want to be the person who like has all those comics.
Yeah,
they're terrible, but so good at the same time.
Yeah. It's hard to find those because, like, usually when the other thing is like usually when I come across
I've only
those,
found two.
Usually when I come across those,
I
when
buy them.
We're looking at them. They're always like really desiccated.
Well, yeah.
Like somebody just like used them to like wipe, dry their car. Or something.
Something like, I gotta dry my VW Bug. Hand me that romance
somebody,
comic.
but not in the sense that they had to dry it, because they were actually washing it. Somebody like threw like
a Coke on it,
like a Coke
or a milkshake,
or VARP. Somebody threw up on it, like somebody had it parked, and they're like, it was like the '70s, and somebody's like, "Fuck, all I got is this." Damn disco kids throw it up in my car.
Damn disco kids. I was just imagining somebody driving by and throwing a milkshake at a VW Bug. And then you use a romance comic to clean it up.
That's what you keep in the back of a VW Bug.
Yeah, I mean, what else would be back there?
Just I got all these Lonely Hearts comics.
It's just there is a VW Bug somewhere that's filled to the brim with romance comics.
No, well, these people that do this podcast are going to need to get a handle on that. They're going to start looking in bugs.
They are
VW Bugs.
And then Russell says, where did it go? Oh, I did come up with a comic reading idea for you. Ooh, this is fantastic. No particular issue, but I love What If. If you have any in your collection, maybe you could do one in the near future. Guess that's all this time around. Thanks for the show, Russell Bragg, host of the DC Comics Presents show. So thank you, Russell. And we are actually going to go ahead and read a What If today.
Yeah, I got some What If books. And by the way, Russell did email us at worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
Yes,
so
because that's where anybody can email us.
You can check us.
It's amazing if you put in that address, we'll get the email.
Yes,
it's amazing how that works.
Yes, he's been very loyal to us, and thank you, Russell, for supporting the show. And check out his show, the DC Comics Present show, and keep it. Even though it's on hiatus, you can listen to all the past episodes.
Listen to the past stuff.
You got to. Now it's time to binge. It's time to binge.
Binge listen. Who doesn't want to do that?
I did get some tweets, by the way.
Oh, tweets.
I have a tweet from our buddy Nick Laneit360. At Laneit360 on Twitter. He says, with regard to not having a spleen.
Oh, that's right. Because we talked about spleens.
Yeah, Nick says, yes, you can live without a spleen.
Yes.
I had mine removed in 1996. It's a big part of your immune system.
Oh.
And Nick obviously is doing okay because he doesn't have a spleen, but
yeah.
Well,
I remember Peter Forsberg of the Avalanche getting his spleen removed after, I believe, some sort of horrible on-ice collision.
Yeah.
Because it, made it bleed. I don't know what happened. Hockey is very violent. But I do remember when I was younger, living in Colorado, Peter Forsberg had to have his spleen removed because he fucked it up on the ice.
Back in the day in high school, in grade school, did you ever do this when you had to lay down on the floor and somebody drew the outline of your body and then you just drew all the body parts in it?
No.
Oh yeah, that's what we did.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, we did. I did that. We did that in 5th grade, and then we put them up in the hallway.
Oh, that would be fun.
So everybody walked down the hallway, and you could just see the body and how people discern what the body parts are and stuff like that.
Oh.
And I remember the spleen being yellow.
Ew.
Yeah. The spleen was yellow, and then you had your other parts. You colored.
It's just such a weird word. Spleen.
Yeah, but apparently, but Nick says
but
that...
you can live with it. You can live without it, because I think it filters blood. No, maybe I don't know what it does.
Well, it helps with it's a part of your immune system. It keeps you. It's something that probably. I'm not a doctor.
We don't do research. We also went to art school.
Yeah, Nick actually does follow up here. He says, "Yeah, just supposed because I asked him. I says, I hope you're well. How are you? How are you doing? I was curious. I forgot what I asked him, but he says, Yeah, good to I said, good to know, but I hope you're doing okay, sans yours. And he says, yeah, just supposed to get a flu shot every year and something about a pneumonia vaccine. I don't know. Which kind of worries me, Nick. You better go get the pneumonia vaccine.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a pneumonia vaccine, but
well, he probably needs it because he doesn't have a spleen.
Well, I didn't know but you should definitely get a flu shot.
Go get some health, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you are, and I'm certain you are, because you are cognizant of this on here.
Yeah.
So I am trusting you are going to continue to be healthy because I want you to keep listening to our show.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I get my flu shot every year.
Keep listening to the podcast. Nick is a podcast advocate.
That is true. He listens to all the podcasts.
He is a mighty podcast advocate, and you should all be like him. He also was very supportive of our Kickstarter.
Oh, the Kickstarter we talk about starting that we'll probably never start, but we think about it.
But at one point, yes, he said, "Do that Kickstarter," and he gave me a little.
Where I want to just travel the country and go to comic book stores.
Yes,
I say we do it.
Yeah, I think we should do it. He says, "Shut up and take my money." So
sweet.
Maybe when I figure that out, we will. And also, our buddy at Comic Reflection was very. He was appreciative of our. He said, "Thank you for the kind words on this week's show," which you're welcome, Nick. Or Comic Reflection.
Yes.
Yes. At Comic Reflection on Twitter. And he also provided us with a nice little meme picture.
Yes.
And it's
because this is when you were talking about how you were going to put together a tight five of fished based
It was
comics?
Fish. It was Atlantean Andrew Dice Clay. Although I was thinking that
Andrew Fish Clay. I remember this.
Although I did think that I was thinking about this. If Andrew Dice Clay was in Latveria, I think his act would be Andrew Doom Clay.
Probably.
And the way he would look is he would just be Dice, but he would have the Dr. Doom mask, but just the mask and the hair, and he would, still do the bit,
Yeah. But, he's quit smoking now, so he just carries.
But he would have the same vest instead of it being black, it would just be green. It would be color.
Well, there you go. That's what you can do for
that's
your.
That's a good cosplay.
That's when you do your comics.
Comics doing stand-up?
Yeah, it's got a name.
Comics on comic?
No, it's not comics on comics, it's comics and comics.
Comics and comics?
It's so close to what the comics on comics. I was always confused.
Andrew Doom Clay?
And usually at the same time. It was very confusing.
But so Nick sent us a picture here that says Dr. Doom, and it's a picture of Dice in the middle. And it says, Dr. Doom, more like Dr. Blow Me. And he says, "Thank you for the kind words on this week's show." And I go, "Did I say that?"
Did.
And he's like, "You did. I've been laughing about that line for over a week." That was a very good line. I agree. At Comic Reflection
you are hilarious.
On Twitter,
There
I
you
am
go.
very funny. And I also got a nice comment on Facebook with somebody. I had a few people respond to the. Because I don't want to open up Facebook. I just don't want to open it right now.
No, it's best that you don't.
I'm about to. But I got some nice comments on Facebook about the show because somebody was like, "Is this Mark Quaid's run?" And I was like, "Yep." Or Mark Quaid. Mark Wade. Not Dennis Quaid. Mark Wade.
Is he a long-lost Quaid brother?
Yeah, he's Randy Quaid's son. Mark Wade.
Which is the one who was on the run from the government?
That was Randy Quaid. Yeah. No, Mark Wade is he was writing Justice League Task Force, and Mark Wade, of course, is known for a lot of great things in the comic industry. And Justice League Task Force
it's just one of those things.
Was a thing he did. Which
I think that's the thing. If you have a career as long as some of these people have had, you are going to have those moments where you're like, "That's a thing they did."
Oh yeah, no, although I get
not everything can be perfect.
I get annoyed by it though when TV people that are comedians that go on to write for TV and do stuff and they have these things where they're like, "Oh man, I wrote on the show and it sucked."
Maybe the show experience of writing on it, maybe it did suck.
I guess it did suck, but also I'm just
and maybe whatever they wanted to do they didn't get to do because the network or the showrunner or whatever. So of course there's going to be things where it's like, it's not what I want to do, but I'm getting paid for it because it's my job.
Yeah. I just kind of I'm like, well, shouldn't you be happy that you're writing on TV?
I think they are. I think the thing is there's a lot of those things. We were watching something today. Where
TV writers should be more like Louis C.K. when he's talking about how it's how everything should be awesome.
Yeah. But I we were watching that thing today where it was here's 10 movies that these really big stars don't want you to remember, and they were all movies at the very beginning of their career. So
True.
Of course they were shitty horror movies and just weird, low-budget shit because everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, George Clooney was in the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. How dare he? I'm like,
let me say this. I do not think that NXT's Oney Lorcan will cop to the fact that he was in my short film Smark.
That's true. He was in your show.
He is front and center.
He is. And who does he play? Does he play?
He plays Biff Busick, which was his character on the Indies for years.
Yeah.
And he.
That's right. Shawn made a movie about wrestling guys.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, if you ever, look.
That was your. That's what.
I kind of go like a year or so without mentioning it, and then I mention it, and nobody cares. And
you did it though.
But I did it. I made a short film.
You did make a movie, and it was about wrestling.
It starred Ted Arcidi.
It did.
And it starred a few.
Who was at one time the world's strongest man?
He was, yes, and he once had a very.
Who is an awesome guy, by the way.
Yeah, Ted Arcidi is wonderful. He's a wonderful man, and he's a forgotten part of wrestling history, in my opinion. Who
he didn't wrestle that long.
No, he didn't.
It's not like he was doing it for 20 years.
He wrestled for literally like 3 years.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years. Like tops, like not even just in WWF. Like he wrestled like maybe in Puerto Rico for like a minute, and like Stampede, and then like World Class, and then he just like retired, and now he sells like exercise equipment in New Hampshire. And I haven't talked to him in a minute. But and he does acting. That's obviously
that's right, because
he's an actor.
He was in the town.
Well, he was in the town, and
he was always in like the background. He was like a security guard. He was a security guard in the town,
but in the fighter, he was a promoter.
That's right, he was a promoter.
He was a very sweaty fighter. It was a very sweaty promoter.
But that's perfect for the promoter.
Which I'm like, you know what? He is probably the best role. He had a very like. He had a good, intense scene with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And Marky Wahlberg and Melissa Leo. They're all there.
Because like in the town, he's just like the guy who lets
Ben Affleck
into the place to see the other guy.
He's like, yeah, go there.
And then he also didn't he have a role where he's like in that movie with Robert De Niro where
The Family.
In Paris?
Yeah, The Family.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
He was just like some guy in the background of that.
I think he did make the back of the DVD cover. There's a picture of picture of him.
That's exciting. Because he was supposed to be like their bodyguard or something.
Well, he's not a bodyguard. I think he's like a crook or something.
I don't remember. We never saw that movie.
He's like a henchman. He's like a featured henchman.
Okay. Yeah.
So, which I mean, look, Ted Arcidi, if you're listening, which I know you're not.
Yes, Ted listens to this podcast.
But if you do, I hope you end up in Gotham.
Oh my God, why is Ted not in Gotham? Because he's perfect for Gotham.
Ted Arcidi is like he should have. He could have played Michael Chiklis' role.
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, you didn't have to pay that much to have Michael Chiklis come in and go.
You could have just had Ted do it. And it would have been awesome.
You could have just had Ted Arcidi just show up and just throw people out the window, and I would have believed it. I mean, I believe in Michael Chiklis. Michael Chiklis looks, terrifying.
Oh yeah, except also he has a dad rock band. Let's not forget Michael Chiklis' dad rock band.
Yeah. Here's the thing: one of these people has a dad rock band, one of these people doesn't. So,
if you put David Duchovny, Michael Chiklis, and Ted all in a room, 2 of those 3 people would have a dad rock band.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
And also Scott Patterson from Gilmore Girls has a dad rock band.
Too many dad rock bands, guys.
Right? So many.
I mean, that's what we've come to. But yeah, I got some. Somebody said it was on Facebook, one of the groups I posted it in. Somebody said that it was very funny and it was hard to eat listening to this because it was so funny. And I'm like,
because we are disgusting.
Oh yeah, we're hilarious. We are so.
Oh my God, so funny.
Off the wall, guys.
Except not really funny.
I don't know.
I amuse myself.
I do this to I say
we
things.
We just really do this to amuse ourselves.
I say this to pop you, to make you be like, oh, that's funny, And I try.
That's really the thing. We do it to make each other laugh, and that's just pretty much it.
And if you guys are laughing too, then we are very grateful. Win. So, yeah. So we'll. I guess we'll take a break.
All right.
And we'll play some promos, and we'll come back, and we'll do one of the stories from our What If this week. So stick around.
Hey, Gene. We should do a podcast.
Sounds like a great idea, Jeff. But what will we talk about?
How about a superhero that we both love?
Perfect. Someone like Thor or Captain America?
Both great choices, but I think they're being covered by somebody else already.
Wait, I've got it. What about the Protector of the Universe?
Like Voltron?
No. The guy with the jewelry that lets him create whatever he wants.
Green Lantern, nice.
Close. No, this guy has cosmic awareness.
Captain Marvel?
Almost. I mean, Quasar.
Ah, Quasar. Who doesn't love a good Quasar?
Tune in to the Quantum Cast, covering all things Quasar.
Yes, that's right. You can find us at quantumbands.blogspot.com.
And on the Two True Freaks Internet Radio Network.
All right, we're back here on Worst Collection Ever. And it's me and Jen. We are here to bring you our book for this week. It is What If? Volume 1. Number 37. From February 1983. So we're going to do this. This is by request by our buddy Russell.
Yeah.
And
we're not going to talk about the whole thing just because it's long.
It's kind of long. And here's the thing. I have a few what if selections. And actually it kind of came up this week where I was like, I wanted to do something Marvel from the 80s. And I had this, and I figured we'd bust this out. I have another one that I could have did, but it's actually like, well, first of all, the book is really beat up, and then like the second one is something about, it's like I think about like what if the Avengers sucked or something. It's something about them getting beat up or something, and it's really confusing because it's one of those ones where it's like if you didn't read the initial story or something like that, then you're kind of lost. And I was like, I just knew that was gonna be a bummer.
Yeah.
Actually, most what ifs are kind of bummers.
Yeah.
This one doesn't necessarily.
This one isn't totally a bummer.
The other story's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, well, the one we're going to talk about, which is the first story in the book, is not a bummer as much. But we were going to try to read Shauna.
Oh, well, where we go? Well, let me finish my point about what if real quick.
Yeah.
So I had, because we did a what if a couple, I don't know, about like 6 months ago or something like that.
Was it the Death's Head one?
It was the Death's Head one where everybody dies.
Yeah,
that one was
Everybody
delightful.
died. Yeah.
Everybody died. I also have a Captain Marvel. Is what if Captain Marvel had lived? And if he does live, everybody ends up dying anyway.
That's right. Everybody else dies.
Everybody else dies. That's how that one ends. Spoiler alert: what ifs are big downers. So, and then we were going to read. So we went to one of our favorite stores around the neighborhood.
Pulp Fiction
in Culver City.
Yep, great
and
store.
they actually
very large selection.
Very large selection. If at some point, I highly recommend it. I mean, I love all these stores around the area, and if you go to and this one actually surprised us because they had 25-cent books.
Yes, and here's the cool thing about Pulp Fiction is a lot of times they have like a little section where you can bring like your used trades and stuff, and then they'll sell them at like half off, sometimes up to like 80% off. So you can get some like sweet, like nice trades for cheap.
Yeah. No, they're good.
Cool.
They're a good store, and they
always have dollar boxes.
They always have dollar boxes, and they had a good selection of 25 cents off. I really pumped up some holes. That didn't make any sense.
No, that made no sense. I don't know what you're talking. You're talking about pumping in holes.
Pumped in some holes.
Confused.
I really filled in some holes for my Guy Gardner collection.
Spackled
A few spots in the Guy Gardner collection because that's a thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
So we were gonna read Kazar. Is it Kazar or Kazar?
Kazar, I think.
I don't know.
But
I
wasn't
can't remember
really
Kazar.
It's about his wife, which is Shauna or Shayna.
Shayna again.
I don't know.
So Kazar, it was Kazar the Kazar the Savage, and then this one was about Shayna.
Yeah, it's her own
the she devil, but. What happened was, it's like we came in from this issue where Kazar was...
Everybody's dead.
Kazar was dead.
And it's just about her being sad.
But she is sad and vengeful and angry.
And
the
then,
lion gets Zabu gets killed, and quotes.
So like all she does this whole thing is like find out that everything she's ever loved is dead, and it was a bummer.
She throws a lot of coffee on the ground. She
makes up with Peter Parker, which is like what?
Yeah,
Obviously, she is stricken with grief.
Yeah.
That is the reason you make out with Peter Parker. You're like, I am just so sad I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to kiss this idiot.
Yeah. Peter Parker's trying to do something.
It's one of those, like, make me feel alive moments. And you're just like, don't, step away. Feel dead. Feel dead. Continue to feel dead because you do not want to feel that.
Yeah, there's some, it's just very intense.
It was a downer.
And I was like, and this is like, the second Kazar book, I'm going to say Kazar. Kazar book, like just Kazar solo series book that I've read that I've been let down by. Because there's another one we had where he's in it and he's it's just boring and he's getting like tested at a facility.
It's really upsetting.
It's upsetting, and I'm like, I don't care about this. He's kind of he's a loser. He was in the one Iron Man book that we did a couple months ago with Chris Mancini.
Yes.
And it was the one where he went to his
house in L.A.
No, he went to visit Tony Stark, I think, in L.A.
Well, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like having sowing his wild oats because
his chick was supposed to be pregnant.
Yeah,
so he was like, "Oh my god, I can't possibly handle fatherhood." So he ran away and got into a barefoot fight in a diner. In a diner, it was really weird and just upsetting.
Yeah. So you know what? We're gonna just go ahead and with this uplifting what if story. So what if number 37? What if volume 1? Because there's volume 2 came out in the late 80s. But what if volume 1 from number 37 from February 1983? And on the cover, we got 3 stories here. First story, or 2, it's a split. So it's kind of, you have half of one face and half another. So it's what if the Beast and the Thing continue to mutate?
Yes.
And we see the Beast looking all feral on one side, and we got Ben Grimm on the other side looking all crusty. And then at the very bottom, you even have a third story where it says, plus, what if the Silver Surfer lost the power cosmic? Well, I'm going to assume he probably would be fucked.
Yeah. I guess it's just good.
I'm gonna answer that.
He'll die in the vacuum of space. The end.
All of a sudden he loses it and he goes, shit.
It's
dead.
3 panels. You're like, oh, he died. Okay.
It's just him on his board, and he's like, I have the power cosmic. No, I don't. Dead. The Watcher's like, yeah, that was a short one.
That was fun.
So basically, the What If books, the Watcher shows up in the beginning. He's like, well,
I have questions about stuff.
And I get to see other things and alternate realities, but it's not like DC where we actually write stupid books about these things.
Right. It's not like a multiverse. It's not an Elseworld. It's not Earth 2.
It's not All-Star Squadron or whatever the fuck it is.
Whatever.
It's just a book that you're just going to have to deal with this, and it's not canon. Okay.
Yeah.
And he shows up and he tells us about it. And basically, the premise, the first story that we're going to talk about this week is what if the Thing continued to mutate?
Oh shit.
And so basically something happened where...
So the Watcher's like, oh man, Ben Grimm, probably the saddest creature I can think of.
Yeah.
He just really feels bad for Ben Grimm because he's a giant rock monster.
Yeah.
Who wears panties.
So he's a modest rock monster.
He has it's nice,
He wears underwears.
He's covering God's shame.
So basically what happens is we get a little backstory about what happened in Marvel 2-in-1 number 81, where basically Ben was infected with a highly radioactive strain of this new virus X.
Virus X, yeah.
Virus X. Because basically what happens is he gets captured by MODOK.
Yes, and he gets put into a bubble, kind of like somebody putting a little dome on top of a cake.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
it's a cake dome.
He's like in one of those Trouble bubbles. He goes,
yeah.
Pop.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Trouble?
Yes, I do. The game Trouble, yeah. Yeah, or he's in a little terrarium where you grow little plants and stuff. He's just under glass.
Yeah, it's Ben under glass.
So they put him in the thing, and MODOK is like, I'm evil. I'm MODOK.
I'm evil and I got this virus, and he's
so I'm gonna see what happens if I expose you to it.
Yeah, because he's basically he's a scientist. He's a big-brained evil scientist.
Yes, MODOK.
Who becomes a lady later.
So he gasses him with this virus, but then the Thing goes back to his buddies, and they put him on kind of what looks like a giant sewing machine. And Reed Richards uses his very long arm to make it zap him. I don't know exactly what he does. You
think he would just be able to do that from a regular panel?
Right? Don't you think?
I always feel
he's got to 8 feet, extend his arm.
Reed Richards is always showing off.
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk. So he's trying to see what's going on with Ben Grimm, and he's like, "Oh, I can feel it. I feel really shitty. I can feel this thing mutating me."
And I'm becoming uglier.
I'm becoming uglier. Oh, God. So he's like, I got to get out of here.
But just as so he's about to, say fuck it and get out.
Right. He runs in.
Giant Man. Because Giant Man's there.
Yes.
And Bill Foster.
Yes. And honestly.
Black Goliath. We can call him Black Goliath, too.
But they call him Giant Man here.
Well, he's technically, he's like a million names.
Yeah. And he is drawn pretty much like Power Man.
No, he's not.
No, he like his outfit. You could see it on Power Man. It's kind of like a '70s thing. With,
I mean,
like,
it's definitely
he's
is.
got like the chest open.
He's got the weird. He's got the weird like things like the open vest,
like the real V-necked.
Yeah, he's got the deep V, and but he does have his mask on.
Yeah.
You know, but so Giant Man. Basically, Giant Man's like, Bill Foster's like a very good scientist too.
Mm-hmm.
So like, basically he's like, look, we need to like continue to fight this, and we need to get the antidote, and you can't let it down, and and Ben Grimm's like, look, I came too far, I came too far. I'm not gonna give up now. So they go back to where MODOK is, and they slap a bunch of people around. What?
Ben doesn't go. Oh no, Ben does go. Yes, Ben does go. You're right. That's right, because he goes back later.
Yeah, Thing joined Captain America and Giant Man in a desperate search for the antidote to Virus X.
Okay.
So they go back and they find a gun, because also at the same time, Giant Man is also like, he has this really bad radioactive poisoning.
Every time he's like, he gets big and it really takes a lot out of him, and it like accelerates his poisoning. So he also needs some sort of antidote so he doesn't die.
Yeah, and so basically they find the antidote, and there's only one dose enough to use it. Even though this doesn't make sense later.
No, it doesn't make sense later.
It just happens to be very convenient.
Of course, always convenient.
And and he's like, well, there's only a little bit in here, but I got to use that on Ben and save Ben, and Ben gets better. I do like this way that it's like, so he gets better, and then like the way that so in those watches, like, well, Giant Man's noble sacrifice rescued the Thing, and from what was certain death, and returned him to his more familiar rocky state. And it just has like this picture of Ben just like,
oh, but
I'm sad.
This is what actually happened in the book.
So this is what actually happened.
Oh, because I was like, they go and he's not with them later. Okay,
no,
so
this is what actually happened.
Okay,
this is what happened in Marvel 2-in-1 number 19.
Okay, so we're doing a recap. So he saved Ben. That was great.
So the Watch is like, yeah, but you know what? There's like,
what if that didn't happen?
There's a multiverse, and
there's a multiverse.
Here's Earth ass. I'm gonna go here,
which is where we live now.
Where we live now.
Yeah.
So he goes. So he's like, okay, well. So he goes back to the point where Ben Grimm is getting the pep talk from Bill Foster, and he's like, fuck this shit. I'm ugly. I'm gonna go, and like I'm harmful to everybody.
Yeah. So he like punches him in the face. I'm out of here. Yeah, he punches. He has
a very like Tommy Wiseau kind of freak out.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fed up with this world, and he like punches Giant Man in the face, and he like takes off, gets on his little crotch rocket scooter thing.
I love his little crotch rocket scooter. I love that he just has this little like putter thing. He's like, because it's
like Orion's thing. It's
but he also like he kind of needs it because he's like
a rock monster,
and he can't sit in the Fantastic car.
No, probably because he puts too much weight in the car, and it fucks things up.
So he has a little scooter, and he's like,
because I mean, he's a solid rock. He's got to weigh like 500 pounds.
Yeah, he weighs more than that probably.
Right? He's like really heavy.
Yeah.
So he like gets on his little scooter, he's like beep, 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 and he like zips away, and like as that's happening, his girlfriend Alicia,
yes,
the blind girl, is just like, I can't. The bed is
out here, and I love him.
So cute. Like that's basically what's happening, and so,
well, she's having a hard time.
She is, and I get it. Like she's like, oh my god, the man I love. Like I just want him back.
Well, imagine if I was mutating and I ran away. I was like, I just ran down the street.
Could you not mutate? Could you? I mean, like,
I probably just go to like the bug or something.
I know. I'm sure I could find you.
You'd just be like, well, yeah, he's here. He's right here.
Maybe
our buddy Joe would be like, yeah, he's over here playing G.I. Joe.
Probably.
Getting
like,
the game. And he's like, yeah, okay. So he's like, he's not mutant.
Yeah,
he's not mutating, by the way. He's
just try not to mutate. I mean, like, if we get dosed with like a bajillion things of radiation, who knows what'll happen?
No, maybe it'll be cool.
Maybe we'll finally get superpowers.
Is this the plan all along?
Yes, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna have a horrible war, and then we're gonna have superpowers.
Oh, great.
So maybe it'll be worth it. I doubt it. So she's upset, and I don't know what he's doing with the fucking arm and the stretchies. He's just so annoying. He drives me crazy.
This is the thing about Fantastic Four that always, I don't know why.
They bother me.
They do bother me, but it's also
the Thing. I don't like the rest of the Fantastic Four.
I know, that's why I love Marvel 2-in-1. I can't be bothered to read any Fantastic Four books.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm fine just reading what the Thing is up to. Like, what is he doing today?
Like, Sue bores me.
Oh, she's
Johnny Storm
terrible.
is just like, I don't know, whatever. I don't care what he's doing.
He looks, because I realize he's supposed to be drawn like he's on fire, but in this book, he's drawn like he is covered in yarn.
You always look, yeah, that's the thing.
It looks like somebody, when they like yarn bomb stuff. Have you ever seen those women who like knit shit and like put it on a building? It looks like somebody yarn bombed him.
Yarn bomb.
Yeah, have you ever seen that? It's a thing.
I believe it.
People have yarn bombed that, that bull on Wall Street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, somebody made a whole fucking yarn cozy for it, and then she went out and she attached it.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know how long that took.
But the other thing about it's always bothers me. I don't know why the word gizmo is always used so much in like the stories because Ben's always like, yeah, this is Gizmo, and I'm like, just fucking, I don't know. It
just makes me think of a gremlin.
It does. It makes me. It just.
What if he's referring to a gremlin? What if we just never see that there's a gizmo?
Well, this is before Gremlins, so.
I know, but what if this is the prequel to Gremlins? So this is where he was before he went to live with that family.
So basically, okay, so this is what happens. So Reed shoots up like this missile up into the air. Or like this Vapo tracker, right?
Yeah, because it's like looking for Ben.
Because he can trace like Ben's scooter or something like that, right? So he shoots it up into the air. Now we get this panel though.
Oh, that panel is ridiculous.
Of him shooting this thing up into the air. Now, mind you, the Fantastic Four Baxter Building is in New York City, and he shoots this thing up into the air, and it just somehow finds a way to loop around an incoming plane.
Yes.
And
not blow it.
And not blow it up. Which I'm like,
that's
Reed, you ignorant asshole.
He's just an asshole. He just bothers me. I'm like,
you know what? I mean, I wish that somebody would have saw that, and then would have been the end of Fantastic Four, and that
you're trying to shoot down
and then the Watcher was like, and then the Fantastic Four were,
or like, what if that's what happened? What if like he did blow up a passenger jet?
And he blew up a passenger jet, and a bunch of people died horribly, and then Reed was jailed for life for mass murder. And
as a terrorist.
And scientific negligence.
Yeah.
Scientific negligence. Scientific negligence. And that's it. And
is that a thing you could be charged with? Because I'd like to be charged
on Earth Ass, you can. And apparently, which is where Reed lives. And
I got a few people on that list.
Yeah. So Reed's like, so then Watcher's like, okay, that's it. I'm done. Goodbye.
That would have been great.
No, but they
get into their Fantastic Four plane, which is always my favorite plane.
Fantastic car.
Sure. It is a plane without a roof. It is a convertible plane.
Yeah.
Which, no.
And they also have a blind woman in there with no cover.
No, they don't even have seat belts.
No superpowers.
They have no seat belts.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody dies. We have talked about this before, where I was just like, shouldn't everybody in this thing be
Shouldn't
dead?
shit be fitted like just bugs?
I mean, like all your teeth would just be... I mean, granted, if you go high enough, there are no bugs.
Yeah, but still.
But so maybe there aren't bugs, but I mean, that would be cold. Like eventually a bird's going to hit them in the face. Like it took down a plane.
Yeah.
With that Sully Sullenberger thing. Yeah. I mean, like I'd love to see a bird hit Reed Richards in the face. Like remember when Fabio got hit in the face?
Yes, I'm
the seagull?
Yeah.
I would like to see that happen.
Yeah, and Alicia Masters, like she's just like, oh no, and I'm like, you should be like, Jesus Christ, my face, it's so cold.
Yeah, my eyes are dry right now.
My blind eyes are dry. This sucks.
I'm still uncomfortable.
I'm very uncomfortable. Why am I not covered? I am a human woman. I do not.
Why don't I have a seatbelt?
Sue has her own. Sue has her own force field she can make. Yeah. Johnny could just be hot.
Yeah.
And then
you're
Reed,
just a stretchy
You're
guy.
just stretching. You could just like make yourself a skin umbrella.
Ew. He's just Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah.
I would actually really love to see two kids just like one grabs one hand and one grabs the other and they just run in opposite directions.
What, Reed Richards?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wouldn't that be great?
I wish that's how he died.
What, 2 6-year-olds be like, yay!
And two children just running down the street, and it's like that would be the end of Reed Richards, and we're just like, oh, okay.
Hyperextended him.
It's like, did we kill him yet? Great.
I think maybe this is it. Maybe I have a prejudice against stretchy guys.
That's actually another issue of What If. It's like, what if Reed Richards was stretched to death, drawn and quartered by 6-year-olds?
But I think I have a prejudice against stretchy guys because I don't like Elastic Man either.
Elastic Man?
Yeah.
Or Elongated Man?
Elongated
What about Plastic Man?
You know what? I'm okay with him though. And I don't know why, but maybe because he's not as creepy about it.
Yeah, he's kind of comical, but like,
Him and an elongated man probably.
I was reading actually
try to outstretch each other, and then they could both die.
Did I read? What was I reading? Actually, it was the Animal Man that I bought. Yesterday, and he. There's a scene where he's like, he's talking to his wife, but because like his head's like coming into the plan, and she's like, "I thought you were in the restroom." He's like, "I am," and I'm like, "Ew." Like, fuck you, Ralph. Gross.
Gross.
That was a gag in the Fantastic Four movie too, not with his head, but in the one where he like puts his hand out and gets toilet paper.
But I have not seen.
That's a dumb movie.
Nor do I want to see that movie.
Anyway, so we cut to
all of those movies are dumb movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen the second one though.
I've never seen any of them.
Yeah, it's dumb.
So
So now we jump to
we cut back to no, we're just with MODOK now. Oh, no, that's right.
Okay, so Giant Man and Captain America are here to fuck up MODOK, and MODOK actually made a bunch of dudes kind of look like Ben Grimm, but not quite.
They made some things.
He made some things, and then basically they're like, "Look, we gotta like find this antidote." So they're slapping everyone around. Captain America's like is a lot. It's a lot of like Captain America's really great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lisa looks beautiful tonight. Kind of a lot of that going on.
Lisa
in this book.
is so pretty in your dress.
Lisa's really hot tonight.
No.
So yeah, he's beaten. Yeah, he's pounding.
So everybody's fighting, and as that's going on, Ben is on his little scooter, but his hands are like forming into club monster things.
Yeah, he's getting.
So he's like, I'm losing my dexterity. I can't pilot this thing anymore, and
I'm becoming a stump.
Yeah. And he crashes.
Crashes because he can't pilot no more.
Right, and he basically has a scene from that Star Wars.
Oh yeah, he's Anakin Skywalker
coming out of the fire, just like completely just burning. Just
who's he talking to, by the way?
Himself.
Ben has a lot of soliloquies.
Yeah, so he comes out. He's like, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna do it. And he like crawls in a cave.
Yeah, he crawls in the cave, and then we're back with all these
guys
Captain
just
America,
fighting.
and he's beating. They're beating dudes up, and
Captain America's doing like the splits on the shield.
Yeah, he's just pounding. He's just landing on people with his shield. That's basically all he's doing.
He's kind of like Frogger, but like with a shield.
Yeah,
just blop.
Yeah,
blop,
blop.
Blop. So they do that, but so finally, Giant Man finds one of those gun things.
Yeah. Finds a gunny.
And it takes forever. So he finally finds a gun. And no, he talks to a dude who works for MODOK.
He makes one of the AIM guys tell him where we can get the
because he's like, I'm going to rip you in half. And he's like, MODOK doesn't pay me enough.
I thought the AIM guys were yellow, but they're all like blue here.
I don't know.
It's kind of confusing.
It's a different world.
Oh, Earth-ass.
It's Earth-ass. So he's going to make this AIM guy. He's like, I'm going to rip you in half. And the AIM guy's like, no, I don't get paid enough.
He's like, basically, look, tell me what does it do? And he's like, it makes
great.
A temporary.
Here's a gun.
Here's a medicine gun, and it temporarily makes the body immune to radiation and also stimulates cellular regeneration. And he's like,
cool.
Well,
thanks.
He's like, okay, well, there's a chance it could help me. Bill's like, well, it could help me.
Yeah.
But, we have to get this to Ben. But he's like, but we're not going to get to Ben in time because Ben doesn't,
He's like, unless I help myself, I'm not going to be able to get to Ben.
Yeah.
So
which is actually a good point.
Which is a really good point because he's right. If he dies, it's not going to work. So he injects himself with some of the antidote. And he's like, well, there's plenty of it in this gun.
Which apparently apparently the first time nobody had, there's like a thimble of antidote.
So he shoots himself in the arm with it and he's like, cool. So eventually we get to Captain America.
Well, eventually Captain America's about to he's
going to shield MODOK, basically. He's going to jump on him. But then Giant Man picks him up. He's like, I'm going to
Giant Man jumps through it. Actually, I do like Giant Man jumping through the wall and grabbing MODOK's giant head.
Yeah, and he's like going to throw him. But he's like, MODOK says, this is actually really great. He says, release me. The world needs my genius, my guidance. No harm must befall MODOK. And so he's like, well, all right, I won't hurt you if you let me and Captain America go without killing us. And MODOK's like, all right, that's it. That's the end of them.
I don't see. He doesn't actually. He doesn't. We don't see him agree to it.
I assume he does because they leave. But then,
quivering, the genetically altered genius quickly complies. Okay.
Yeah. So then we're outside.
Okay. That's how MODOK sounds in the cartoon.
But here's the thing. This is what I don't get. So we've got the gun.
Mm-hmm.
We have Giant Man.
Giant Man.
Then the next thing we cut to is everybody except Giant Man in the 4-car
No,
thing.
they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Captain America's not there.
Well, Captain America. Oh, so Captain America's not there.
No,
either.
we're just back to where they traced
it.
Ben.
I always see. This is where I don't get this antidote thing because it doesn't seem to come into play later.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
We'll have to find out. Okay, so they find everybody in the 4-car finds.
Well, you know, right? It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. This was completely pointless. So everybody in the 4-car finds Ben, or at least his scooter, which is now a smoking husk. And they're like, "Oh, we got to find him." And so Johnny Storm flies around looking for him and gets rocks thrown at him. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that must be Ben. They're coming from this
Because Ben's
cave."
like, get out of here, I'm a monster.
Yeah, and then he's like, "I can barely understand this guy, but I know it's Ben. I'll turn myself into a flaming 4, and everybody will come over here because I'm a flare now." Like he's just
No,
basically.
he can do that. That's what it is.
I know, but he.
You can throw things. You can make little flamey.
I know.
He's like Diablo in. I think he can write love.
Yeah.
He can make a dancing.
I'm just
dancing woman.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying he's basically the same as the Flares cops keep in their car to tell people don't drive here because there's been an accident.
Yeah, you just lay Johnny Storm on the ground.
There's just a bunch of.
He just shows up. It's like, hey, he's like, hey, I need to take a
car.
nap. He's like, great, and they give him a flaming pillow, and he goes to sleep. He takes a man nap.
They're like, does take a man nap. Nap like a man. So they're like, oh, he's in the cave, but my Geiger counter's going crazy. There's a lot of radiation. But the blind girl is just like, I don't care. I'm going to walk into this cave. I'm going to go find myself, my man.
Well, you know what's frustrating is that she walks in, and he's like, and Ben's like, I don't want you to see me like this. Like, she can't see you. You know that.
Yeah, she can't see you. I mean, I get it's an expression. She's like, it's okay, Ben. I don't care. And this picture is weird.
Well, she's in the darkness.
I know she's in the darkness, but the way it's drawn, if you don't pay attention, it kind of just looks like she has big, giant, gaping holes for eyes.
No.
Instead of shadows.
She looks like Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Looks like Alice Cooper in this picture. She's like, welcome to my nightmare. And he's like, oh, hey, Alice Cooper's here, guys. Alice Cooper's
nightmare.
Alice Cooper's here to help Ben Grimm.
Yeah, so she gets Ben, and Ben has turned into the Thing. Or not the Thing, the Swamp Thing.
He's turned into...
He's green.
He's turned into Swamp Thing meets Ben to the
He's
Thing.
Man Thing.
He looks like a...
He's literally Man Thing.
He looks like a gigantic broccoli.
He does
with
look
pants.
like yes, and his panties still look good.
He looks like a broccoli with legs. Not so much like Eon, the Quasar's buddy.
Space broccoli. So he comes out and he's like, "You guys got to kill me. I'm green and I keep mutating."
And he's very upset because he's like, "Oh, I should have lived. I deserve better."
Yeah, he's like, "I deserve better than this end." And he's like, I can feel the heat inside of me keeps building. I'm gonna go. You guys. You have to put a shield around yourselves because I'm going to explode.
Sue, make yourself useful.
This is it. Yeah, Sue, actually do something, will you? So she puts a shield around everybody, and he basically explodes.
Yep.
He explodes, and everybody, and she Alicia's staring at where he was. Of course, she's blind; she can't see him. But when the smoke, it's not smoke, light clears.
The explosion clears.
The explosion dies down. She can see all of a sudden. And oh, surprise, surprise, Ben's not dead. He's a man now.
Yeah.
He's not a rock guy.
He's
taking a man nap. He's a regular skin dude.
Yeah, all of his crusty broccoli body exploded.
Yeah.
And underneath was just happened to be a man.
Yeah.
Which, eat my ass story.
Yeah, so they take him back to the Fantastic. This is what I mean. He didn't need the fucking antidote because he just blew himself. He blew
So basically what happened was...
He blew himself better.
Yeah, basically what happened was, and then Mr. Giant Man went around and probably just shot a bunch of other random things. He's like, "Hey, Captain America," and he's like, "Oh, that's cool."
He's like, "Hey, we almost died, but I guess I got
this antidote, and nobody else is gonna use it. How about I just I'll make a smoothie?" Just probably wasted it all. Science whizzing down the drain.
Yeah, maybe he just put it with Ben's blown off broccoli and made a really weird smoothie.
Oh yeah, that's how you make it. That's how you.
He's like, "This is how Jamba juice was founded."
the origin of Jamba
That's what
Juice,
the story
Virus
is.
X, and exploded
The
Ben Grimm.
Origin of Jamba Juice.
That's how it started. So when you go to Jamba Juice next time, be like, "Yo, can I get the Ben Grimm?" They have a picture. I want to believe that at every Jamba Juice there is a picture. There's a framed picture of Black Goliath.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the premises.
Yeah.
And it says
This is our founder.
Our founder.
And then there's a picture of the virus guy.
and you're required when you walk out to hit it with your hand.
Give it like a high five.
You have to do it like your like Motley Crue and the one, I think it's like Swamp Home videos, and they walk out just for their walking out. You see them backstage and they walk out and they're hitting their hands on all the Playboy Playmate posters that are hanging up. They're like, yeah, my ladies, they walk. Yeah, no, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, so that's what you do. That's what you do.
Do they bring them with them?
No, not the ladies, but the pictures.
No, I know. Do they bring the pictures with them? And
Probably,
say,
yeah.
Hang these at every venue?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's probably on the writers. Like, I need a local Playboy pictures.
Wouldn't they just bring the same ones? I don't know how bands work or writers.
Let's get Tommy Lee on the show. Let's ask him.
Oh, I'm certain he would love to be on this show. Tommy Lee, A, do you like comics? B, so what's up with your dick? Is that something else we're going to ask? Because apparently that's the question you ask him now.
I mean, that's like two. Yeah, we just asked
C, Playboy Playmates.
Playboy Playmates. Also,
Did you bring those pictures with you?
He's like, do you want to ask?
New every time.
I'm glad we spent $35,000 on this interview. So I'm certain he's probably not doing it. He's probably like, yeah, I'm not talking to you if you're not paying.
I cashed out my 401k for this interview.
I asked you 3 questions. One of those was about your dick. Good. I'm living good. Anyways, so
yeah, so they're like,
yeah.
Ben's like, okay, how much time do I have before I rock Monster again? I'm like, never. You're not going to do it again. You are now man. Here's the thing. Here's a question about the thing. He is a rock.
Oh yeah.
So if he hit his arm against his leg too hard, could he cause like a spark? Cause like fire?
I don't know. I think he's got kind of like.
Or is he like not that kind of rock?
I don't think he's that kind of rock.
Sandstone?
Yeah, I feel like he's like a different kind of rock. I don't think he's a kind of
flinty.
I don't think he's a kind of rock that actually, does anything. He's just,
He's a useless rock.
He's kind of a useless rock hide.
Like,
it's tough. It's durable, but it's not,
If he's like limestone, if he gets too wet, will he like dissolve?
I don't know.
And
I mean,
cause,
obviously
like,
he's been in rain.
sinkhole?
He's fell in water before, so yeah.
So he didn't die.
Fallen in water, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so now he's a man, and now he can have fuck sex, and
yeah, and then he's like,
and then Giant Man comes in, and he's like, oh, hey,
well, no, they're like, because they're like, he's
I don't
like,
have a gun or anything, I don't have an antidote.
But I'm alive.
So,
well, because
I
basically,
live.
because Ben's like, oh, what about fighting and stuff? He's like, no, you don't have to fight no more because.
Oh, that's right. He's like, now you can't be on our team because you can't do anything fun. Not that you could before.
No, he doesn't need to fight. He could just go on and be married with his woman who can see.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about being a rock.
Yeah.
But we'll have.
You doesn't have to. You could just.
We'll
you could
have
star. How about this? You could star in The Rock.
Yeah, we're gonna have Giant Man be on our team now. Get out, Ben Grimm. We don't want to hang out with you anymore.
What if they're just like the next panel is just them throwing all his shit out in the street, like off the top of the Baxter
Not a
building.
hero anymore.
He's like, now get out. And he's like, what are you doing, Reed? You're just throwing all my shit out on the street. Like Johnny Storm's like burning all of his bed. He's like, fuck you, get out of here.
Get out. You're not a hero anymore. We don't want to see you.
What if Ben Grimm was homeless?
Get out, Normie.
The giant man puts a giant boot on Ben Grimm's ass. Gets real big and just throws him out onto Fifth Avenue.
He's like, you're human, but you've lost everything you ever loved. Congratulations.
Go live in Brooklyn.
It's like, no, too many people.
And the Watcher's like, and then they couldn't afford rent. And then the end.
They ended up on Staten Island.
They ended up on Staten Island, living next to D. Snider. The end. I
Does
imagine
D. Snider live in Staten Island?
probably.
Sure.
He's probably out there yelling somewhere.
Isn't it just like a bunch of old Italians living out in Staten Island?
Yeah.
My people.
Yeah, he's hanging out. He couldn't afford the ferry.
I thought isn't it free? No, I don't know. Anything.
I think the ferry is free.
I have no
Well,
idea.
our buddy Steven Sajdak, former guest on the show, had an adventure on the ferry.
That's right.
Which we briefly described on the recent episode of We Hate Movies.
That's right. He went to Staten Island for God only knows what purpose.
Yeah, so maybe go see D. Snider and Ben Grimm.
Oh yeah. He was out there to give Ben Grimm a housewarming gift, like a rock polisher. It was an ironic housewarming.
And he was like, yeah, because he used to be rock guy.
Jokes.
Yeah.
Ben Grimm punches everybody in the face.
And so, and then
That's it.
yeah, and then he's like, and then so it's funny because so the Watcher's like, yeah, and on this world, Bill Foster achieves the fame he never reached in your reality, but that's a tale for another day. So he's basically like, yeah, Giant Man, Black Goliath, he kind of shit the bed here, like in the normal market, but in this book, he's pretty cool.
His sacrifice to try to save Ben Grimm's life actually fucked Ben Grimm.
I will say
that's basically what happened, because if he did not give him the antidote, then he would have become a person again. And now, wah wah, Ben Grimm is a rock man forever.
He's still a rock man. He looks very sad in this one picture that we get to see.
Because he's a fucking rock man for the rest of eternity.
He's like, I don't get to move to Staten Island.
This is one of the rare what ifs where like the outcome is like, oh man, that's so much better than what actually happened.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like, and then everybody died.
Yeah. I am glad though that Black Goliath is tearing it up on Earth ass.
Yeah, doing
yeah.
it.
I'm a big fan. I like Black Goliath. There was a really awkward. I just remember remembering. I'll never forget this. There's an issue of West Coast Avengers where he helps out the team when like Moon Knight just joins or something like that, and Moon Knight makes like a very vaguely racist comment to him.
God.
To the point where I think like either Tigra or somebody else, I think like Mockingbird is like, dude, what the fuck? He says something like, you people.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he gets like, but he doesn't really, I don't think he means it like that, but he says it anyways. And it's like, and I don't think Bill hears him or something like that.
No, he does. He's just so used to hearing racism, he ignores it.
And he's just like, whatever. You're crazy Batman. You're idiot You're schizophrenic Batman. Shut up.
That's just Batman.
Yeah, okay. But I'll never forget that because I'm just like
Batman is just Batman.
Because I love West Coast Avengers, so I'm just reading through it, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, Moon Knight, calm down, man. Like, what's your problem?
Slow your roll,
Slow
bro.
your roll, dude. And also, in
lay
Black
off
Goliath,
the racism.
can we just have an issue of Black Goliath just slapping you around for 30 pages? Because that would be great. Because you fucking deserve it, you idiot. Jesus. Yeah, but that's all we're gonna do for
this book.
For What If number 37 from February 1983. I guess, would you want to keep reading this book?
Well, sure.
Other stories in it. Would you want to know what's going on with Beast and Silver Surfer?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming Silver Surfer just explodes.
He looks very explodey on this cover here.
He does look very explodey. And Beast, man, he's having some problems. I don't know if I agree that Beast could continue to mutate, 'cause I'm not sure.
Well, I know what happens.
If that's how mutation works.
No, he just gets more feral, basically, is what it means. When he mutates, he gets more feral.
Yeah, but is that how mutations work in Marvel? Isn't it just, you're just born with a mutation?
Mutate is like it's a I don't know if I'm saying this right. A subjective term.
Okay.
Or wait, am I saying that right? Probably not.
Well, I mean, in the Marvel universe, maybe it is a subjective term. Maybe it's just like, it's whatever happens.
It's whatever happens.
Like, it makes sense.
Because basically, what happens in
Grimm.
this story that that we're not reading right now, but basically, he gets more feral after he takes the juice that makes him hairy.
Okay. Well, that makes sense if it's the juice.
That's how I would describe it.
Okay, if we're
Beast takes juice and gets angry.
Oh, so he just does steroids.
He does steroids.
He does steroids.
He goes to the gym and he buys steroids from a guy. He buys steroids from a weightlifter wearing a sleeveless lab coat.
So this is just a story about how people shouldn't do steroids.
This is a story about Road Warrior Animal or Hawk. Road Warrior Hawk. R.I.P. Hawk.
This is just literally a story about most professional athletes.
This is actually a story about the WWE in the 80s.
Hulk Hogan, who just wanted you to take your vitamins. His vitamins were horse tranquilizers.
There's actually a little bit in here where Superstar Graham says that he once injected Hulk Hogan in the ass with a needle, but he couldn't because the scar tissue was so dense.
Ew.
That's something that Billy Graham did once.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I'm so
Billy
glad.
Graham once injected Clorox on a dare, supposedly.
Ew, no, that guy would have been dead.
Well, I don't know how he's not dead.
Like Keith Richards. Like some people just
I think
don't
him and Keith
die.
Richards. Yeah, he's never gonna die.
Yeah, sometimes you can just go hard, man, and you don't die.
Billy Graham has gone the hardest. Billy Graham has been through some shit. Billy Graham once had the worst liver in Arizona.
Wait, it was that like unofficial title?
I think it was. I think he won an
Did
award.
he get a sash?
He got a sash, and then they put it in
and
there.
like a crown. He went to the mall. He was like cutting a ribbon.
It was like yay!
Liver in Arizona.
Mr. Man came in and threw some confetti. Went
At the opening of the Phoenix Mall.
we have Ronald McDonald. We have Miss Arizona, and we have the recipient of the worst liver in Arizona, Billy Graham. Yay! He's like, brother,
wearing a tiara. I'm so proud. It's just very small tiara.
he's got a crown. He's got a crown.
Yeah.
If I ever meet Billy Graham, I'll ask him, where's your crown for winning the worst? That's awful. I am being awful, but he's still alive. So I guess
I'm assuming his liver is better now.
He's doing better. But he's always one of these guys who it's like every so often you'll hear about like he has like really bad like stuff messed up like with his body because he did so much damage to his body.
Yeah.
And he, with steroids and wrestling and everything like that, and he just keeps going.
I know.
He just keeps going.
That's the thing. Some people go fucking hard, man, and then other people, no, not so much. It's the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
It really is.
God bless you, Billy Graham.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of you when you were Kung Fu Billy Graham. Billy Graham listens to this show, by the way. Superstar Billy Graham.
I'm certain he does. He's just sitting around going like, "Thank God somebody finally recognized that I needed a sash and a crown."
This is for our wrestling friends out here that are like Shawn and Jen now talk. Jen doesn't know anything about wrestling, but Shawn likes to school
Jen doesn't know
her.
anything about anything. I don't
So Shawn's going to talk
Why
about
is she on this show?
I don't know. You had some good.
Why does anybody ask her opinion on anything? Because obviously she is a functional moron.
You had some good insight here about Ben Grimm's broccoli body. I think we wouldn't have. I think without you on the show, we wouldn't have understood the secret behind the Jamba Juice.
Oh, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know things, but not often. I know how Jamba Juice was founded.
That was like we didn't even need Wikipedia for that. We knew it.
It's off the top of my head.
Knew that shit.
Yeah, sometimes I know stuff.
Guys, Bill Foster, Giant Man, aka Black Goliath, founded Jamba Juice. That's an alternative fact. God damn it. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm bringing in the real world here.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
We have so far lived for over a week in the upside down, so it is what it is.
Sorry, listeners. But I couldn't help that.
Well, I mean,
I couldn't help that one. That was an appropriate joke.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
I think it needs to be mocked and mercilessly because fuck that. Yeah.
So, anyways, we're gonna wrap up the show this week.
Dun, 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 dun. What?
What were you singing?
There's a song, like a wrestling song that says like "We go hard."
Oh yeah, the revival.
Yeah.
They go, "We go hard."
Yeah, that's exactly.
All day, all night.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we like to fight.
All day.
Both of us are white. I don't know. I think that's how the song goes.
I am certain. That's what I was attempting to sing, but I kind of tune out after the very beginning.
Well, that's the only thing it's kind of like the business song when he comes on and he's like, "I came to play," and I'm like, "What's the rest of the song?"
No, there's no rest of the song.
It's like the good old days, yeah. And it's like Fred Durst like doing a rap and
Sure.
Which I'm saying, if Miz is gonna do an big entrance this year at the WrestleMania, which he's not, sadly, but
what, is he not gonna be in WrestleMania?
He probably will.
Oh,
he'll do something.
But he's not gonna get a Triple H.
No. He had that back when he fought John Cena or Cena in the main event. He had the big inflatable tooth thing where it was they said "I'm awesome," but it was like they look like big teeth on stage. I'll have to show you. It's ridiculous. He had a really good video and a really good like opening, but that's all. Unfortunately, that's all Miz is going to get unless if he.
Well, he does wear great jackets.
Yeah,
the
consolation. Miz is not crying. Miz is not sad. Miz has got a beautiful wife. He's got cats. He's got dogs.
Yeah.
He likes, I think, the chestnut lattes.
Sure.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, every time he comes out in that coat, I'm like, that's a fucking great coat.
And he's got a great coat, and he knows how to dress.
Yes, he does. And I'm just like,
he does not.
The Miz always looks good.
Miz always looks good. He's not like Roman Reigns wearing a zip-up hoodie underneath a hood, whatever, or wherever.
Fleece underneath.
Fleece underneath the.
Underneath a suit jacket? No. To go on television?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The Miz would never do that.
Miz knows better. Miz is on point. Miz is on point with his clothes.
Yeah,
anyways, so this is it for the show. We'll be back next week with another book. Thank you for listening. If you want to join us on the internet, you can email the show at worstcollectionever@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Angry Hero Shawn, as well as Instagram is Angry Hero Shawn, SHAWN. And my Tumblr is theangryhero.tumblr.com.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram, jenstansfield.tumblr.com, and jenstansfield.wordpress.com, where I have to find another show to review.
Yep.
I don't know what that's going to be yet.
It's going to happen soon.
I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Man.
So, and also if you're on the iTunes or anywhere you listen to the show, please rate us. If you can rate and give us 5 stars, give us the highest rating possible. If you want to leave a review, please leave a review, and just tell people about the show. Tell 2 friends. That's what the Sklars say. Tell 2 friends.
Yeah.
If you listen to the show, tell 2 friends. Tell them they just check this out, download it, rate, review, and enjoy. And we will be back next week with another book. And thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.